So as a photographer, I decided, I'm very visual. And it's funny because not all of you guys are photographers. Well, everyone has a phone. You're a photographer in some case. But I don't know how many of you have had a meltdown like halfway through your career where you're like, I'm a dinosaur, I'm being replaced by all these young bloggers and all this stuff out there. And I had that meltdown a couple years ago when, the whole vintage craze that's like all popular at barn weddings, mason jars, and like faded photos and stuff. That whole craze hit, and I was like, oh my God, like no one's gonna like this crazy colors, stuff that I have. It's so not me, like Style Me Pretty is never gonna publish my stuff. It's so not them. And I just remember kind of having a meltdown thinking, okay, I'm just like not hip anymore. Like these young people with their like, Instagram and all that stuff are gonna replace my style of photography. Like, do I just start putting vintage filters on my stuff? Like, what do I do? So I actually asked Harmony, who you saw in the video, Harmony Walton of the Bridal Bar, who's been kind of like an unofficial mentor to me. I sat down with her one day, like, what do I do? And she said, you need to do a styled shoot. I was like, what? It was just kind of a weird reaction, but when I thought about it, I was like, that's a really cool idea, why not do a styled shoot? I could do like a vintage shoot, but in my own crazy, vibrant style and really showcase what I can do. And she just said that, absolutely, no matter what, my advice to all of you is always be consistent. And this is what they say, number one with branding, always be consistent. So if you're using a lot of colors, if you're doing something a certain way, and all of a sudden it's popular to be vintage and like faded colors, and I'm just gonna start changing all my stuff to vintage, people are gonna be like, all right, well, which Laura am I getting today? Like the colorful one or the vintage one? Like, it confuses people, and you don't ever wanna confuse your clients or your prospective clients. So Harmony's reaction was, you want to stand out? Now you're going to stand out. All these people have faded colors, and you're going to have this vibrant color. So always be consistent, and don't be afraid to stand out or do something different. So then, going back to the whole behind-the-scenes video thing, I thought, okay, this is really cool. We could do a shoot. I found this rad place. It's actually out. It's called the Hicksville Trailer Palace. Here's a picture from it. They have these Airstream trailers. It's a motel that all of you guys can actually go stay in, and they don't tell you where it is. You have to like book an Airstream, and then they like have some guy call you, and they're like, so this is how you get here. And they give you directions. It's really, they don't want anyone to know where they are. So this is the shoot we decided to do. And what I did was, Harmony said, another thing for you guys. So use an inspiration shoot. Don't just like put pretty flowers on a table and shoot it and be like, awesome, we did an inspiration shoot. Like, have a reason behind it. So I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna make a statement about how vintage doesn't have to be faded. But I also wanna find some cool vendors that would, like, I think really fit that vision and that could take that idea and go nuts with it. So I approached Kristen Banta, and I don't know how many of you guys, I know you know her. She's a really fabulous event designer coordinator. She had her own show on Bravo. She was just on the Hallmark Channel for the Home and Family show like all summer doing the wedding on that show. And she doesn't touch weddings for like less than 200 grand. I'm like, she is not gonna give me the time of day if I approach her with this like shoot idea I have in the middle of the desert. But I was wrong. At first I was scared to go up to her, and then I approached her and said, okay, I've got this really weird idea. I really think you'd be perfect for it. I love your out-of-the-box weddings that you do. And she's like, give me a couple days to think about this. And she came back, and we ended up having drinks, and she brought like a posse design team with her with like sketch pads, and she had already sourced props, and she was like, I was like, oh my God, I was really intimidated. I was like, what just happened? And we're having margaritas, and she's like, all right, so the groom's gonna be a mannequin, and we're gonna do this post-apocalyptic like scene in the desert. And I wrote this whole narrative, and she hands it, and I was like, oh my God. But once we sat there and started like brainstorming ideas, I'm like, cool, I just wanna light something on fire. She's like, awesome. I don't know, we were like brainstorming. And we ended up coming with this amazing, amazing shoot that was in Model Weddings magazine. And it wouldn't have come to this whole fruition if it hadn't been the collaboration with all these cool vendors that we pulled in I had never worked with any of them, except for the makeup artist, Tara Dalbert-Luffman, she's amazing. But everyone else, I was like, I wanna work with you, I wanna work with you, I wanna work with you, let's do this. So again, we did a behind the scenes video of what I coined hypercolor retro glam, which is my vibrant poppy style to shoot vintage. So we will get this going.
It ain't easy being this kind of lover when you never call me. It ain't easy being this kind of lover, won't you ever call me? I'm dedicated, yes, I'm a forgiver.
Hey everyone, we are here at the Hicksville Trailer Palace.
I'm dedicated.
There's all these Airstream trailers and different themed buildings for people to stay in. Welcome to Hicksville.
Although I know you turn it on, yeah.
Somebody's got to do it. We've got shoes, we've got bouquet.
I'm dedicated, sure, I'm a giver. I'm dedicated, yes, I'm a forgiver. I'll forgive you always. Although I know you turn it
Having
on,
fun.
yeah. Although I know you turn it on, yeah. Although I know you turn it on, yeah.
Right now we're doing the cake cutting. Sanchez is not cooperating at all.
You don't wanna know how I manage alone. You don't
Word of the day,
go
amazeballs.
somewhere on my own. You don't wanna know how I plan on my own. You don't wanna know how I know when you're on your own. No, I'll never.
Laura Grier,
Yeah.
one of the absolute best, most talented photographers out there ever.
We're doing a cake smashing in the groom's face. It's gonna be like this total like aggro, really colorful poppy shot. Ready, set, go. When I think of Laura Grier as a photographer, visionary, as a human being, incredible, inspiring.
Not too bad.
The marriage of Kristen and her vision together is just beyond mind-blowing. I'm like, I feel like the hardest part of the day is over, so now it's kind of like cake, no pun intended, from here. I feel like some people just think it's crazy that I spent all of this time coordinating this shoot and getting everything together for such a strange concept with a bride and groom mannequin, but it's times like this that I feel like I'm in my element. It makes me realize like what I'm doing in my life is right and that I really enjoy it. There's something really cool about it when it's just your own idea. About to go light stuff on fire, that's pretty fun too.
Looking in the mirror.
Okay, you're angry. So our last shot of the day, we had Pauline out in the desert with an old school gasoline can burning her apron in a statement of frustration because she realized all of a sudden that her groom was a sham and that he was just a mannequin and not a real man. So the whole idea was to have her burn her apron in protest.
So keep it on.
Hope you enjoyed our shoot. We're really, really excited to see the outcome, and now the real work begins, which is editing and breaking down everything. So thanks again for contributing. Bye guys. All right, I'm gonna run through this really quick because we're running out of time, but so really recap inspiration shoots. You wanna showcase your own style. Always work with new vendors. You want to make a statement or tell a story. I can't tell you how important this is because so many people do these shoots, but what we don't realize is that our photos, our images on our website aren't searchable. It's our words that are searchable. So writing something, having a story to go along with it, submitting it makes it more exciting to a magazine or a blog too. They want to have story ideas. So have some type of narrative that goes with whenever you do a shoot or any type of idea. Creating shareable content, again, people are not going to want to share your shoot unless it relates to them somehow, unless you have a cool story with it. You can relate it to a bigger idea like I did, or a statement on the vintage trend. You really want to use your shoots as a platform to brand yourself and to launch yourself in your career. And there's no point of doing it otherwise. You want to work with people. You want to have a reason behind doing a shoot. Always create, always create. I mean, we get so busy, we get so wrapped up in the wedding world. Sometimes it's fun to do something a little silly out there that is still wedding related, but says something you use to describe your business are just as important. And your smartphone photos are just as important too, because that is part of your branding. So, I wish I could just take an awesome photo, come straight out of my camera, and that's it. I just took that photo. It's not like that. We have to spend hours editing these images and making them look that way. And now they have all these amazing apps like Snapseed and iPhoto and Photoshop that you can take your little Instagram or your smartphone pictures and you can edit them almost like in Photoshop and then put them out there online. So who says that you guys shouldn't live by the same rules that we do, which is edit your images first? You should always think about everything you're putting out there. And to be honest, use your blog as a visual database. That is what I do. It's awesome. I write up a little description about every shoot that I do because those words are now searchable. So if I have a bride that's sitting down with me and she's looking at my portfolios and they're all like beautiful weddings in Mexico, and she's like, okay, I'm actually getting married though in a barn in like Nashville. So I go, okay, then I just type in barn in my search blank on my blog, and any barn wedding I've ever done pops up, and it tailors it and curates it for my client. So I really use my blog as not just like blogging because I want to put myself out there in social media, but I really use it as a visual database to be able to tailor all of my work for my clients. Curating the work on your website. So the thing that I see with non-professional photographers is you guys are getting your images from us, right, for your websites, and you're probably getting like 10 or 15 different photographers' images. You're pulling them together for your own websites. Who says you can't take those images and then re-edit them so they match your website? Like, it's a big pet peeve of mine when everyone's images like don't match and they're all edited differently and it makes your site look really disjointed. Why not really, again, curate your website, take that work and edit it the way you want it to look, match your style. Who says that you can't go up to the photographer at an event and say, hey, I've got this really cool gray backdrop and it matches my website. I'm a floral company. Can you just like shoot some of the bouquets against this so it matches my website? Or, I mean, there's ways that you could, tweak things and look for backgrounds or whatever, so you're getting photos that match your brand too. And we're really helpful. We like to help vendors. We love giving photos and sharing them. So we would even edit them a special way for you if you asked. Don't be afraid to be more in charge of the images that you put out there. And finally, staying current. Finding the color of your business. So that is honestly at the end, where I'm summing this up right now because I know I'm running over here. You want to figure out who you are and what you're saying to your clients through color, through the words you put out there on your website, through who you're working with. It's really, really important. Even choosing who you're working with is really important because ultimately branding is about attracting the clients that you want, attracting the jobs that you want. I mean, that's what branding and color branding is all about. So, if you're not thinking about these things, then just start thinking about them because you'll see it actually will completely change the clients that you're attracting to you. You'll see it'll be like instant. So remember, there's enough work out there for everyone, okay? So don't be afraid to be choosy and don't be afraid to stand out because that bride and that couple is there that will match your brand. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. Here's like contact information or find me if you want to ask me any questions right now. Thank you so much.